Hey, what's up, guys? It's Reaper Plays here, and welcome back to another episode of the series that you thought would never come back, um, Minecraft FNaF tutorials. For today's video, I've got a very short, very straightforward video. The highly requested updated system after working out some kinks of a completely randomized moving animatronic system, and this is all that it covers. This is literally all that it covers. I promise. I'm not going to spend any time really explaining. I'm just going to immediately get right into it. So, of course, I have the on and off buttons, which all these do is add the scoreboards that you're going to see. So this is what you'll need. I recommend, if you're going to be making a map with multiple animatronics, that you use one general timer across the animatronics. Don't make them all run on different timers. Make them all run on the same timer, and make that timer run with no delay in ticks. I only have a delay in ticks for this tutorial, but have it be no delay. And then just use math to calculate how long you want. So 20 seconds, 1 second is 20 ticks, and so 20 seconds is 400 ticks, and etc. etc. You also are going to need, obviously, an armor stand, your animatronic. I just named it moving. So anytime you see moving, it is referring to this animatronic. Movement is the name of the scoreboard that I'm adding, and also path. You'll also need path. So you'll need movement is the score, is the objective, and your two players in the score is going to be moving, or the name of your animatronic, and path. So those are the two things, and when I press play, you'll see them pop up on the screen. Basically what this does is it immediately sets this block with redstone, and this just increases scoreboard players, add moving, movement 1. All this does is, just add to the score, and there's a delay in ticks, obviously. Like I said, I wouldn't have one. I just do the calculations. But when this reaches 10, if I come down here, the move test, when this reaches 10, of course this is execute if there's an entity, so if your animatronic exists on the map, that's of course the armor stand and its name, it will run scoreboard players, and then it will test moving is of course the player that we added to the score, movement is the scoreboard, and then 10 and 9999999 is just the upper limit. So once it reaches 10 or anything higher than that, this will activate. This will set block right here with redstone, and this will reset the timer to -5. This means that you can essentially use the animatronics moving on this one timer. It makes a movement, the timer resets, it moves again, the timer resets, you get it, etc. That's all that's going to do. And what you need here, I saved it as a structure block, but that's only if you want to use it for multiple animatronics. Each animatronic will have just one randomizer, unless you want to complicate things. Let's say you wanted your animatronic to have a chance that it goes backwards. Then you'd want to have another randomizer, because this just decides which path it goes. Either it takes path A or path B, path 1 or 2. So these are linear. The animatronics movements are linear. They will be completely randomized, but they can't go back to their starting position. Of course, animatronics, they make their way slowly to your office. So like I said, if you wanted to make it to where they go backwards, I didn't do that. Or maybe you wanted to add a possibility that they don't move at all, that they just decide to stand there. Then you'd have to switch this from being path 1 and path 2 to either it decides to move or it doesn't decide to move. Or it decides to move forward or it decides to move backward. And then these will activate another randomizer that will say where it wants to go or if it wants to return to its position. That's even more complicated. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But either way, you can see how to make this randomizer. You just need any choice block. There's a comparator here. I have an outside maximum repeater, and all that does is set this block with air. That's why these are impulses. If you make them chains, this will be permanently redstone, so you don't want that to happen. You want it to be able to clear it so that you can activate it all the time. This comparator then runs into a block, and this is a dropper that has a hopper facing it, and in the dropper there's dirt and a diamond sword. I won't explain the redstone thing. This isn't my creation, as you can see. But basically they have different redstone charge values, and based off of which one pops up in the dispenser, that'll choose this. Then you just need 3 blocks here. Well, really it's 6 and then 7, 8, 9. You need 9 blocks here, 1 block at the end, redstone dust, this single repeater running into more redstone dust, and then a single repeater, and then a repeater on its 3rd charge. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, a repeater on its 3rd charge, and then a regular repeater. That's so that if it powers one of these, it'll block the other. And then you just need your command blocks on the top. There's nothing behind it. You just need your command blocks on the top. And for my instance, which I assume you're going to use for your example, all this is if you remember, I brought up the path score earlier. This sets the path to either 1 or 2. And you'll see how that works when I press this button again. Now, once you've gotten this done, all we need to do now is come down here, and this is going to be how you're actually going to manage its movements. All I did was make 4 of them, and I didn't, build a map for an example. You'll just see it like spawn here or teleport here. Each of these is the same. As you can see, I left out this command block, but you want to save these as structures too, because you're going to be using these a lot, depending on how much variety you want your animatronic to have. This guy only has 4 available paths to take, and technically there are only 2, because he can only choose one of these 2 sets. So anyway, you want a repeating command block, always active, unconditional, no delays. And this is a slightly longer looking code, but all it is you're executing if your armor stand exists. Again, that's the type equals armor stand, name equals moving, and tag equals stage 1. Now, then it'll run scoreboard players test path movement 1, 1. Now, obviously, the other one for path 2 will test if it's movement 2, 2, or if it's path 2, 2. And that's depending on these. It'll activate immediately as soon as this is randomized. The reason it needs to test for stage 1 is because each of these is a stage of its movement. This is stage 1, this is stage 2. Once it leaves, it'll be in stage 3. And that's how we can manage basically using the same timer. So when you start this, when you start the game, you want to give the armor stand stage 1 the tag. Or, it doesn't have to be the stage 1 tag. You can change it to whatever you want. But just for my example, I have stage 1. That means this will only activate these command blocks. For example, these are testing if he exists and tests if he's in stage 2. So even if path movement is set to 1, these commands will not, these commands will not activate. Only these that test for it being in stage 1 will activate. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. As always, I'm moving through this pretty quickly. Go through this 0.5 speed if you need. But anyways, this, after you put this repeating command block, you're going to have a chain conditional, always active, and you're going to remove the stage 1 tag before you do anything else. That's all this does. And then this will give it a new tag. This will give it stage 2. Now remember, the timer has also reset by now. It's back to -5. I should bring up, the reason I set it to -5 is just so that it has a little bit of time to recuperate. But you can set that timer to anything. You can set that timer to anything you want. This is the teleport. This is just where you want your animatronic to be on the map, literally. I just have it here. But, of course, like I said, you can, or actually I think it's here. But this, you just put in the coordinate on your map where you want your animatronic to teleport to. And then the last command is the path reset. And this sets the path movement back to 0, because if you forget to reset it like I did, it can't move a second time, because these are detecting if it's path 1 or 2. For example, if it might just move like instantly, like it might not even be able to be randomized, because the second you give it stage 2, if it's like on path 1 still, this will just immediately activate. Or one of these two will immediately activate. I think path 3 will, because, yeah, that's movement 1. So, to make this make a little more sense, these are the animatronics movement is divided up into stages. There is one global timer that all animatronics use, and this is called speed. You can set the speed of the timer to anything you want. I recommend it being 0 delays and ticks, and just calculating the seconds with a tick calculator or your brain. And when you start, all you need to do is make sure that these scoreboards exist. You don't have to set display, I'm just showing it on the screen so you can see. And make sure that your armor stand or your mob or whatever has the tag stage 1. Then set your timer to active by redstone, some sort of redstone. I just use blocks because it's easier. And set some kind of constraint for your animatronic. It doesn't have to be 10, it can be 100, it can be 300, it can be 500 for all I care. Make a limit for your animatronic when it wants to move, and this will be the same time for every movement. It'll wait until it reaches 10, the same time until it wants to move. You can switch this up if you want. You can add a separate move test if you want it to wait a little less for something specific, like a jump scare, but that would mean you'd have to add a separate command block. This means you'd have to do execute type equals armor stand, name equals moving, and tag equals stage 1. And then for stage 2, you just copy the same thing, but then you'd make it stage 2. That way there's a different test if it's in a different stage, but these commands would be the same, it would do the same thing. Now, unlike the global timer that all animatronics use, that's why I never reset this timer. Oh, actually, I just realized in this segment that the timer does reset after the animatronic moves. So I would say you do need individual timers for your animatronic. I am replacing this sign. I apologize. Not independent. Need one for each. Need one each. Yeah, I just realized that you do need a timer for each animatronic only because we are resetting it after they move. So yeah, you will need a timer for each one. But that doesn't change any of the commands. Remember, like I said, you need a limit for your animatronic when it's going to move, every time it moves. When it reaches this limit, make sure that you set this block next to the randomizer, redstone. The randomizer should do its work on its own, and remember that it will select either path 1 or path 2. Because we're in stage 1, the only commands that would be active right now are these two. This is stage 1, specifically. When in stage 1, these command blocks, these two, are constantly testing whether if it chose path 1 or 2. Right now it's at 0, but when this animatronic sets the randomizer, it'll choose either 1 or 2. That's why we have the path reset at the end. So it will remove stage 1, it will give it stage 2, and then it will teleport it to its position, and then it will reset the path. Now, these will become deactivated, the timer will reset as part of this command. And now stage 2s will be active. And the same thing will happen. It will reach the same timer limit. It will set the redstone, the randomizer will work, and then it will test whether if it's back to 1 or 2. And after doing that, it will remove the tag, add the new tag. Now it's on stage 3. It will teleport, and it will reset the path. I just didn't put that here, but it will reset the path. What this looks like in post is so it's moving 5, 6, 7, 8. As it reaches 10, you'll see this. The randomizer will decide it chose path 2. It's now in stage 2. It had time to recuperate. The timer is still going. It just reset. The next time it reaches 10, it will either be on this left side or right side. The randomizer does its work, and it chose the left side. It's on path 3. Now, of course, I'm going to turn this off now. It gets cleared and reset. I have the animatronic teleport back to here. If I hit it again, let's see if it chooses a different path. It goes... The randomizer does its work. It still chooses the left. It goes to path 2. Let's see if it chooses the right this time on stage 2. Okay, it still does choose the left, but just so you know, that's just how that ended up being. This is completely random, even though it did choose the same path. I can use this as an example. If I load, all I did was save this as randomizer. If you load this structure, the structure that I saved, and I have this set to / say 1 and say 2. If we keep randomizing this, you'll see it says path 2, 2, path 2, 2, path 2, 2, path 1, 1, path 2, 2, path 2, 2, path 2, 2, path 2, 2, path 1, 1, path 1, 1, path 1, 1, path 2, 2. You get it. See? So it happens to repeat itself a bit, but it is the most random that we can get. And that is the whole tutorial. I made it so not simple, but I tried to make it as constrained as possible so that you guys can really get creative with it on your own and implicate it however you want. But this is just the bare bones system. And just keep in mind that these commands can connect to anything else. Like, you can just attach an extra command block, or actually no, you can attach a comparator command block that says /set block for a door test, and then wherever my door test is, or well, it tests at p door -990. This is another scoreboard. It's a timer scoreboard. But let's just say you used my timer. Like, get rid of this door timer. Or actually, maybe don't. Maybe don't get rid of the door timer. I'm not sure if these commands, I don't remember if these commands, yeah, it seems to be independent of the score. Yeah, so you can actually remove this door scoreboard. Like, you can remove the timer. You can keep the scoreboard. You can remove the timer and just make it so that that block, like it says -99990, right? You can just make an extra block /scoreboard players set at p door 0. You can just do that. You can just do that, and that connects directly to this door test. So you don't have to really change much. Likewise for the animatronic in your office mask system, which is a little glitchy, but anyway, that's all that I have today for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and like I said, if you guys have any questions, please ask in the comments. This is the newest, most current updated method of basic random movement for your animatronics in Minecraft. And all I need to do now is implement these mechanics into my custom map. And I'll give you guys some updates on what's going on with my other maps right now, because let's just say it's not going the best. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this one and can take away from it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.